In this video, I will show you the strategy to fight floor 31 boss Naruha efficiently, so you can farm Gaou Integral Weapons faster. Floor 31 boss has some interesting mechanics ranging from the damage reduction buff, break move, and spawning minions, which will require us to have a party members who will need to fill in specific roles to make the fight easier. I will explain those different roles, but first let's take a look at the boss's pattern so that we can understand better what's the importance of those roles. Naruha the Ninetale is weak to Thrust and Water element and have a very high resistance to any other element, so we need skill with both elements to be able to deal good damage to the boss. In the beginning of the fight, the boss will get 50 stacks of damage reductions and critical resistance buff. When the boss HP drops to 50%, it will gain another 50 stacks of damage reductions buff and spawn one avatar of Naruha to fight alongside her. The boss will get another 50 stacks of damage reduction buff and another avatar of Naruha when the HP drops below 25%. Naruha's attack can inflict Scorch, Paralysis, and Item Lock, so it is best to equip burn resistance skills to increase our survivability. Now that we know the boss's characteristic, let's get into the role. One of the most important roles to fill in the party is the lure role. The role responsibility is to aggro the avatars of Naruha away from the boss and the party members so that they don't attack and deal unnecessary damage to your party member. To be in this role, you will need to have a good map awareness to catch the avatar of Naruhas whenever they are spawned, and aggro them as far away as possible from the boss because the boss can use break move that has a wide area of attack. We need to make sure we and our party member have enough room to avoid the attack when we fail to break. The second avatar will be difficult to spot because we will not be able to see the boss HP as we will be busy aggroing the first avatar. So you need to pay close attention to the map for when the second avatar is showing up. The easiest weapon to aggro the avatar is with a bow, because the enemy has a long range attack, and with bow we will be able to aggro from far away. Just make sure that your party member do not attack the avatar. We do not need to kill the avatar because it does not give us any benefit even if we do that. So this role is the easiest to do as we don't need to have any specific skills to fill in this role. Yet it is very important to make sure that your party member can deal damage to the boss more comfortably. The second role that is good to have is the tank role. The responsibility of this role is to aggro the boss away from our party, so the more squishy party members don't take the brunt of the boss's attack. A good tank will make sure that the boss stays in one position as much as possible, and for this boss, we want to make sure that the boss stays in the corner to allow more space to run away in case we cannot break the boss. We also want to take the boss away from our lure and from the portal so that we don't get prompted with the exit dialogue. To tank this boss, we will need burn resistance skills and skill that can aggro, like this Debuff skill. We also need self-healing skill so we don't use too much potions. You may also want to use burst skills to tank the boss's break move, in case our party member cannot break, and if we have a buff skill, we also can use those buff skills to buff our party member. The third role is the D-stack role. This boss has a 50 stacks damage reduction buff that reduces our damage significantly in the beginning, and if we do not remove them, when the boss HP drops to 50%, it will get another 50 stacks, making it 99 stacks. That will make it very difficult to deal damage to the boss. So we need someone to remove the stack damage reductions buff from the boss. For this, of course, we will need a skill that can reduce the stack buff on the enemy. This role is not to be filled by just one person. Rather, it is better if more people uses a skill that can reduce enemy stack buff so we can reduce them fast. It also will be better if there is someone in the party that has a skill that can reduce the boss's defense by 100% because the boss has high defense point as well. The last important role but not least is the DPS role. whose responsibility is to deal damage to the boss. This is a role that can be filled in by everybody because the lure role can do DPS in the first 50% of the boss's HP, and the tank and D-stack role can also do the DPS if they have a good enough skill. To be in this role, we will need to have a good thrust and water element skill and high enough attack stats to be able to do decent damage to the enemy because of the enemy high defense and the damage reduction buff. Actually, there's another role to fill in, which is a breaker role that can make the fight easier if your party can break the boss's move. But it is not important to have, as the break move does not add any crucial buff to the boss and can easily be avoided. You will need many people with good break skill to be able to break the boss though. Now if you have gathered your party with people who can fill those roles, the strategy is basically just to have a D-stacker D-stack the boss, tank aggro the boss in the corner of the map, and everyone else just focus on damaging the boss. When the boss's HP drop to 50%, the lure will aggro the avatars away from everyone else, while everyone else keeps doing their job. Then the lure will once again need to aggro the second avatars of the boss when the boss HP fall to 25%, while the rest finish off the boss. Hopefully this guide is useful to help you farm the floor 31 boss. If you want to know a sample build that can be used to tank this boss, check out my previous video on how to tank the floor 85 boss, as the exact same build can be used to tank this boss too. And I will see you there. Bye now.